Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Salam alaikum, my dear secondary students. Welcome to a new lesson for your book, The Traveler 3. And today, as you can see, a lesson got some reading, vocabulary, and grammar. If we get started with what we'll learn today, as you can see, we have three objectives. Number one, practice identifying the main idea of the text. Number two, practice reading for details and identifying word meaning from context. 3. Use the past perfect simple and a past perfect progressive in context. So it's about context. For number one, we're going to read and identify the main idea or find the topic sentence of a text. Number two, we're going to read also and scan and skim for details and identify word meaning. We'll take some words from the reading and identify their meanings. So for 3, it's a grammar. We're going to remember how to use the past perfect simple and a past perfect progressive. If you take a look at this picture, and I think this is from Dubai, and this is the tallest tower in Dubai. It's a very prominent feature into United Arab Emirates and in the world as the tallest tower. Also, this is the biggest hotel in the kingdom and maybe in the Middle East, which is in Makkah al-Mukarramah, right in front Al-Haram. And these really two beautiful pictures really get some questions about them. And the first question, have you ever been to a place which you considered incredible? So you may have went on a great vacation or long summer vacation with your parents to a very nice place, and you came back and school started again, and you started to talk with your friends, and you told them in the school maybe about visiting some places that you like if you went to Paris and you say, oh, the let's say the Eiffel Tower in Paris was incredible. The places were incredible, the food, the people. So what exactly incredible mean here? And question number 2, what was special about it? So let's say if you visited Turkey or Egypt, and you can say, I went to Istanbul and I saw it was an incredible visit. I saw the ships, the islands, the food, the nature, the people, the culture. That was something, when you talk about something special about your visit and why your visit was incredible. And also, if you say, I went to Egypt, I saw the pyramids, I saw Sphinx, I saw the ruins, I took some pictures. This voyage was very incredible. So the word incredible, actually, we got it here in 2 questions. In which cases would you say the phrase that is incredible? Let's say you watched a very famous, Clasico football match. It was between Real Madrid and Barcelona, and you said, and the game was very great, very beautiful, and you say, oh, the match was incredible, it was beautiful. Or you watched maybe a great match or a final football match between Al Hilal team or Al Ahli team, and you say the match was great, was wonderful, fantastic, was incredible, hard to believe. So Rapa Nui, as you can see, is an island, and it has a really strange story. One of the islands that not too many people know or ever heard about it, and it's called Rapa Nui. So I'm gonna tell you the story of this island, which is Rapa Nui, and I hope you follow with me. Rapa Nui is one of the world's most famous places. However, it is also one of the loneliest. Rapa Nui is a small island in the Pacific Ocean, about 4,000 kilometers off the coast of South America and around 2,000 kilometers from the nearest island. It can be reached only by plane as it has no harbor. Most of the coastline consists of cliffs and there are some extinct volcanoes. As the island is covered in grass, most of its inhabitants are sheep farmers. Nui or Rapa Nui also has an extraordinary history. Rapa Nui had remained unknown to Europeans until 1722 when Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen discovered it. The inhabitants had been living on this remote island for centuries. Some 50 years later, Captain James Cook came to the island during his second Pacific voyage of discovery. To his surprise, he found between 600 and 700 men and only 30 women living on the island. Legend has it that the women and children had been killed during a war between the two tribes living on the island. The population decreased even more in 1862 when Peruvians ordered about 1/3 of the island's inhabitants to be taken to Peru to work as slaves. Only 15 of them returned home alive. However, they brought back diseases with them which killed most of the rest of the inhabitants. So actually Rapa Nui has a sad history of war and slavery and diseases. And we got some underlined words in red, which is remote, voyage, decreased, and diseases. Let's see if you can answer these two questions about what we just read about Rapa Nui. Read the article quickly and choose the most appropriate title, which is A, B, or C. So we have three titles. We need to choose the best one for them. So what's the text about what? If you choose a title, would you say the inhabitants of Rapa Nui? The statuses or statues of Rapa Nui, or the island of Rapa Nui in general? And of course it's C because it talks about the inhabitants, it talks about the island and the history of this island. And in question number 2, the words that were underlined in red, if you read the text again, what are their meanings? As we use them in the text, there were words, if you can see them, they're here. Living on this remote island, also in his second Pacific voyage of discovery, and then the population decreased, and then they brought back diseases with them. So remote, it means something far, and remember that we always look for the remote control in a house because you can control something from afar. The voyage, which is a noun and a verb, to voyage is to sail into the sea, or it's a trip or a journey in general. Decreased, if you have 10 apples, you can decrease them to 3 apples. So you say the number was 10 and I decreased it from 10, or the number was decreased from 10 to 3. It means to reduce the number or the amount. And finally, diseases, we got serious diseases in the world like, AIDS, like, cancer, like flus, and all of these. So here are the answers for you. For number 1, it was C. It was, in general, talking about the island of Rapa Nui. And remote, it means situated far from the main centers of population, distant, isolated. Voyage, a long journey involving travel by the sea or in space, or it's just a trip. Decrease, to reduce in number and quality. Diseases, a disorder of structure or function in a human, animal, or plant. You can say illness or illnesses such as cancer, flu, AIDS, and so on. Now let's put these and match these words from right to left. In the box we got 6 words. We need to match their meanings with the words here in the blue and the red from 1 to 6. So match the words in the box with the words highlighted in the sentences. So here the sentence means the man disappeared. He's gone into the forest and was never seen again. I have reduced the amount of time I spent watching television. 3. Linda was honestly sorry for hurting her friend's feelings. Tom and Jake or Jack gave the police a clear description of the robber. 5. There were nearly 50 people in the building when it collapsed. 6. The trip was very long and many of the sailors got seasick. And here we have approximately, account, voyage, truly, decreased, and vanished. So the first one we can say the man vanished, reduced, decreased, honestly, truly, description, account, nearly, approximately, and finally trip, voyage. Let's display the answers for you. So disappeared, vanished, reduced, decreased, honestly, truly, account, description, approximately, nearly, trip, voyage. Now let's get to the final objectives for this lesson for today, which is grammar. Let's remember we talked about the past perfect, and the rule for the past perfect is you use had, I had, we had, you had, they had, she had, it had, with the past participle, which is the, if you say go, went, gone, so we say had gone, play, played, played, had played, had watched, had seen, had written. And we use the past perfect to talk about an activity or an event that was completed before another activity or event in the past. So we have, in one sentence, in the first part, we have the past perfect, okay? That was completed by the simple past. I could, I went, I played. So after the bus had arrived, I could continue my journey. So something happened in the past, and because the second action completed the first action, so you're saying, oh, the bus is here finally, okay, now I can go. So this is how we use the past perfect. After the bus had arrived, I could continue my journey. After my mom had finished cooking, I could eat. Okay? And this is how we use the past perfect. You can make too many examples. Before I had, written a letter, or after I had written a letter, I could send it to the mail. And also, if we talk about the past perfect progressive, which is had always, been always, and any verb with ing. I had been watching, she had been watching, we had been watching, he would, had been watching, it had been raining, and so on. So we use the past perfect progressive when the activity was in progress at a time another activity or event happened in the past. So you were doing something in the past, okay? You were waiting, okay? And something suddenly stopped you from waiting or interrupt your waiting. So here you came at 5 o'clock and you were waiting. It's 5, let's say 5:50, 5 and a half, 5:40, 6, 15, 6:30. So you got 1 hour and a half waiting, and boom, suddenly the bus arrived. So I had been waiting for the bus, as we said, for 2 hours, when finally the bus arrived. If you're waiting for your friend at the mall and you don't respect the time, and you promised your friend to be at the mall at 6 o'clock, and your friend was waiting for you from 6, quarter to 6, 6, and a half, and then you You showed up at 7, so you say, I have been waiting for you for an hour. Okay? So you're trying also here to measure time. But we have to remember, if we use the first part with the past perfect progressive had been waiting or had been verb ing, the second part of the sentence is simple past, had arrived. So you were waiting 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Something else interrupted this suddenly, which is, it stopped your waiting. Or if you were waiting for the bus arrived. Now let's do a little difficult exercise when you have two sentences and you need to put them together. So combine the sentences to create one past perfect or past perfect progressive sentence. So we need to make the two sentences one. We got first sentence, Tanya was talking on the phone. This is full stop or period. Tanya was talking on the phone. What happened? She heard an intruder in the house. Now, how can we make these two sentences in one? Using the past perfect or the past perfect progressive. I'll try to do number one for you. So we can say, Tanya had been talking on the phone when? When what? She heard an intruder in the house. Tanya was talking on the phone when she heard an intruder in the house. Okay, that was number one. Let's try number two. The first sentence, he was a trusted politician. This is first sentence. Second sentence, he was arrested for stealing state funds. And we have before. So what happened first? What happened first? Before he was arrested for stealing state funds, he was a trusted politician. 3, luckily I installed an alarm. This is the first sentence. What happened then? The robbery took place. And you have before. So luckily I had installed an alarm before the robbery took place. For number 4, first sentence, he was jogging. He got into his car. And we have the word before. So before he got into his car, he had been jogging. 5, my wallet was stolen. I didn't have any money. And you have because. I didn't have any money because my wallet had been stolen. And here are the answers for you. All right, that was the end of it. Actually, what we did today, we have learned the word remote, which means situated far from the main centers of population. It's just, you can say distant or isolated. Voyage, a long journey involving travel by sea or into space, or you can say a trip in general. To decrease or decreased, to be reduced or reduced. Diseases, a disorder of structure or function in a human or animal or plant. And you can say illnesses like flu, like AIDS, HIV, too many diseases or illnesses. And also we just finished how we use the past perfect progressive when an activity was in progress and another activity interrupted, or the first activity that was, and both happened in the past. And we use the past perfect to talk about an activity or event that was completed before another activity or event in the past. And there's always, if you have one sentence with two clauses, you can start with simple past and past perfect, or past perfect and simple past. And we got some nice words also, like nearly, approximately, account, voyage, truly, honestly, decreased, which is reduced, and vanished, disappeared. So these are references and resources for you. You can use them anytime you like. And that was all for today. So for more information and lessons, you can visit our website and follow us on Twitter. And for any technical support or any inquiry or question, you can call us on this 24/7 number. Thank you all for watching this. Until I see you again, have a good day and Assalamu alaikum.